Coming to you live from deep within the Wrestle House. My name is Karl Karufel alongside Bubba Duke, and welcome to another edition of Turnbuckle Talk. Bubba, how you doing, my friend?
I am doing awesome, buddy. I am glad to be here.
Any big news for you this week?
No, still got to hold off on that big news yet.
All right, sounds good. No problem at all. I'm just happy that you have news that can come to fruition and come out soon enough. And I'm sure it's going to be freaking awesome once we hear it. Ed, my friend, so good to see you. Yes, TBT time. TBT doesn't stand for Throwback Thursday anymore. It stands for Turnbuckle Talk. Since 2015, we have been going strong, and we're going to continue to go strong as long as we possibly can. This is a pretty intense episode that I put together here this week. First off, just as we said last week on the episode, okay, as soon as we finish doing our episode, breaking news happens every freaking time, and it kills me because then we have to wait another week to be able to come on and talk about this. So this one here has already been talked about a lot. So we're just going to be very quick and simple with this one here. Everybody knows that Mr. Jon Moxley has voluntarily entered himself into a rehab, an inpatient alcohol treatment program. We just wish the best very much for Jon Moxley, for Renee as well, for their little baby as well. It's a big issue. It is definitely something that we have covered on this program in episodes before when it comes to different addictions, when it comes to performers and wrestlers that have gone through and worked through addictions and gotten through them. One of the biggest ones that we've talked about, and one of my favorite of all time. And I like to classify him as a friend of mine because, well, every time we see each other, we instantly connect back up and remember. He remembers exactly who I am. And we're talking Jake the Snake Roberts. Very happy with everything that he has been able to overcome. And I know that Jon Moxley is a fighter. I know that he is definitely as strong as Jake the Snake Roberts is. So I know he's going to come out of this better than he has been before. If you are having any issues, there is something that you can do and somewhere that you can go. And Bubba Duke,
it's actually you go to tagmeinunited.com. So please go in there, ask for help. There is a lot of people. I actually have checked it out recently just to see what it's all about. And there is a lot of people on there that will step up and help you no matter what you're going through. So again, that's tagmeinunited.com. Please go there if you need help for anything. Please.
All one word, tagmeinunited.com. You can even go onto any social medias and you can search out the hashtag Tag Me In United.
Yes.
And it'll give you a whole bunch of information there, as well as I know that people have been sharing their stories, so you can even connect with someone who may have gone through or is going through the same issue that
Exactly.
you are as well. So it is a fantastic thing that's been started. Even the other night at my shoot job, as I'm going around doing my checks, I work security. So I'll be open with everybody. I work security. I work security during the night, and I go around and I have to check different properties for clients. While checking these properties, I actually had my phone going. I got a notification on my Fitbit that Velvet Sky had gone live. So I turned it on, put the phone into my pocket, and I was just listening as, because I have a little Bluetooth that I have speaker on me as well while I'm working. And I was just listening to Velvet Sky talk about some of the problems and issues that she has been going through as well. And she very much so has been at the ground level and an advocate for Tag Me In United. So please, you don't have to fight this alone. Reach out to somebody, reach out to anybody, reach out to me. I don't care. Find a way to reach out. And definitely there are people that can help you. Yeah, I mean, we're here. We're here. I know for myself, I have been through a lot of different things when it comes to addictions. I've been through different things when it comes to different mental health issues as well. And I've overcome as best I can so far. I still fight and I still deal with things on a daily basis, but I'm in a much better place than I am already. So
Oh, you see who's in the comments.
I definitely do. This one here first. We love you, Mox. You got this. Ed, you are definitely right. And
that's right,
this one, Papa Bear.
Yep.
Karl, you continue to kick ass. Keep up the great work. You do.
Yep.
You don't know how much that means. If you guys don't know who Ryan K. Bowman is, Google Ryan K. Bowman.
Great guy.
An amazing writer. Has worked for a number of different companies, has worked for different newspapers, has worked for Sportskeeda. There's lots that Ryan has done, and he is an amazing person when it comes to the world of professional wrestling and being able to write about it. He is so great when it comes to putting words onto pages and actually having you feel what he is expressing. He's a genius. He is a genius when it comes to that. Go and check out Ryan K. Bowman, please. However you can find Mr. Ryan K. Bowman. Thank you, Papa Bear, for coming in. I love you.
Yes, thank you, man. That's nice to see you on here. That's definitely the guy we got to get in here one time and discuss some stuff with that guy. He would, wow.
Yeah, you've never had the opportunity or the pleasure to really talk with Mr. Bowman,
no,
as I have and as Mighty Joe in the past has. A quick update for everybody as well. Mighty Joe is doing really great. I've been talking with him for the last few days. His new job has him working a lot, so it was very understandable when he said that he had to kind of take a step back for some time. But yeah, he's doing great, and I'm happy to be able to say that he is in a fantastic place right now. Chris, thank you so much for popping in as well. I try to be as great as I can, not for me, but for all of you. That's what I try to do it for, because if I can show that I am in a good place, not for me to show that I'm in a good place, for me to be in a good place, it exudes out of somebody. And then other people, it's a whole domino effect. That's what happens. So when you're feeling good, you give that to other people, and then other people start to feel good as well. And that's what I try to do. I always have, and I think I always will. That's just the type of person that I am, and I'm happy to be that type of person.
Right.
Something else that I'm really, really happy about here is this pay-per-view coming up Saturday. We're looking at Saturday's Full Gear event that's going to take place at the Target Center in Minnesota.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Yeah.
There you go, brother. I got your back, man. That's why you have me here.
Minneapolis, Minnesota.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm just going to run through this card here super quick because it looks like it's going to be a banger of a show. And then Bubba Duke, I'm going to get your thoughts on this and what you're most looking forward to.
Okay.
So we're going to start out. I'm not going to do the championship matches first. I'll do the other ones first. We've got Adam Cole and the Young Bucks taking on Christian Cage and Jurassic Express in a Falls Count Anywhere matchup. That's going to be freaking awesome. We've got this matchup here that has been only building for only a couple of weeks, really focused on television being built up, but we're going to have CM Punk taking on Eddie Kingston. Darby Allin is going to be taking on Maxwell Jacob Friedman. The Inner Circle is going to be taking on Men of the Year, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Dan Lambert. Yes. The manager,
Dan
of America's Top Team, Dan Lambert, and they're going to be in a Minneapolis street fight.
Ooh.
The AEW World Championship Eliminator Tournament is going to come to a head as Daniel Bryan takes on Miro. The AEW World Tag Team Championships, we're going to have the Lucha Brothers taking on FTR. The Women's Championship, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, taking on one of my favorites, Ty Conte. And then the World Championship, Kenny Omega, taking on Hangman Page. This is just absolutely stacked, man. Just stacked. Tell me.
Wow.
Tell me.
We do love
what
you,
do you
Carl.
think? What do you think of this?
Oh, dude. You said this is Saturday, correct?
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. I don't have to work the next day because I am watching this, and I want to say the ladies that live downstairs, they might not like me in the morning. This is an epic. When was the last time we had an epic pay-per-view like this? And I'm not talking AEW because we can't go back in the past for AEW because they've done a lot. But who else? I think the only recent one has been Impact.
Yep. Yeah, I would say so. I think that Impact really kicked ass when it came to the pay-per-view that they just had as well. So
yeah, I'm going to be on my seat for every match. I can tell you that right now.
You got a favorite? Got a favorite out of this matchup?
Out of all these matchups, the one I really, really want to see is Jurassic Express with Captain Charisma whoop the butts of Adam Cole and the Young Bucks. Now, don't get me wrong. I like Adam Cole and I like the Young Bucks. I do. I appreciate what they've done and how they wrestle and the entertainment I get while I'm watching them wrestle. But I just have a thing for Jurassic Express and Captain Charisma. I've always liked Christian Cage. I've always liked him. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
So I think that's who's going to win that match. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very, very upbeat. You're going to pay attention to what's going on. Don't miss anything. Don't blink. Don't breathe. Don't nothing.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The match I want to talk about.
Yeah.
The AEW World Championship match. Hangman Page, Mr. Omega.
Yep.
These two guys have actually been tag team partners back in the day.
Yes, they were.
I did a little research, Carl.
Good.
I found out that they were tag team partners for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
They were, phenomenal tag team partners. So, and they weren't they on the Bullet Club at one time there together?
A little bit,
like that. A little bit of this.
Yep.
Regardless, these two gentlemen know each other very well. So
yes, they do.
I'm waiting to see, because Kenny's picked up some new stuff since being with Hangman Page. I want to see how much of this that they know about each other, how much research and studying they've done on each other since this match has been made. Saying, look, I know this about Kenny now. I know this. I know that. Hangman, I know how to reverse this. I want to see how this is going to, I think it's going to go to the limit, to be quite honest. I think we're going to be close to their time limit before we get a a winner,
a
and I think
decision.
it's gonna.
Yep.
I think it's gonna be, and not by much, but I think Hangman Page is gonna pull it out.
That definitely seems to be the consensus in the way that everybody would like to see things go. This has been
Right.
something we talked about, CM Punk, and that really has only been, very, very short lived when it
Mhm.
comes to build up. This one here, this matchup has been built for like over a year, dude.
It's
Okay.
yeah.
So now people are kind of going, and even Kenny Omega himself had said, listen, I've been continuing to work. I've been going on. I've been working. I've been winning championships. I have been the guy of the guys when it
Yep.
comes to professional wrestling. Hangman Page, where have you been for the last 6 months? Right?
Really.
So are we
Right.
going to kind of see a little bit of a rust, a little bit of ring rust possibly
Mm.
on Hangman Page that may cost him that championship? I agree here
Ooh.
with Ryan.
Yep.
Full Gear should be a can't miss event. I honestly, I think it is a can't miss event, and if you do miss it,
You're
too bad
crazy.
for you. You're nuts. And
Yeah.
Hangman needs to walk out with the AEW title. You're right. I believe as well. He needs to walk out with that title. Having built up this storyline for so long, we need to finally have it come up and culminate in Hangman Page finally being the person to dethrone Kenny Omega.
Can I play a little devil's advocate here for a minute? Just humor me for a second now.
Sure.
I like how you said, okay, Hangman Page is going to have a little bit of rust. I like that. Okay. I'll give you that.
Sure.
I'll give you that. What about on the other side of the page here? Because Kenny's been outworking, he's been winning, he's been putting on some pretty phenomenal matches.
Yep.
What if he comes into this match and he's just burnt out? He's just too tired. His body is not doing what it needs to do for this match. There's the other side of the coin, right? What if Kenny's just wore out? And because Hangman's had this time off to heal any injuries, to heal his body, his mind, get himself back on the right page of this is the proper workout now. And he's ready to go. He's not burnt out. What if you just see Kenny just get wore out really fast? Like there's the two sides, right? You got to play both. I'm starting to understand a lot more of being on this side of the camera than being down here in the comments.
Right.
Of listen, you really got to look at stuff. You got to the bigger picture. What if Kenny's tired?
In the world of professional wrestling, there's a saying that goes, never say never. You never say never in the world of professional wrestling.
This is true. I just had to get that point out there.
I agree here with Ed as well. If Hangman doesn't win here, you risk damaging him because of the long-term storytelling since AEW's first pay-per-view. Yeah, you're right. It has really been since the first pay-per-view. So, I mean, we're looking...
Is that 3-4 years now?
Right? About 3 years, which is mind-blowing. I love it, though. I love it. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Since pretty much the first pay-per-view, this story has been building and building and building.
Yeah.
This here is a very, yes. Kenny actually has some legit injuries and needs time off.
Exactly.
So him dropping the belt does make sense.
And it gives him 100%
time. It does. And yeah, and then he's got that time to be able to, go off and rehab and do what he needs to do, because having him, kind of, he was not necessarily always by himself, but now he's kind of got back in with the elites and then with the super elites, and then with all of this that's been going on and happening, they have been building and blossoming and growing. And then now you've got Adam Cole that's in there as well. So this gives an opportunity for Kenny Omega to take that step back and go, you guys can handle this. I'm okay with that. Go ahead and run with this for a bit. I need to go and rehab myself. And yeah, shit, dude.
And here's the thing is he really, at this point, with the group as big as it is for the elite, with all the big names they have, is it really going to be hard for him to take that step back? And are they going to miss him as much as they would if it was just him and the Young Bucks? You know what I mean? There's
Maybe.
those the characters to take that spotlight off of him for a little bit,
True.
for
That's
him to
right.
do that. So,
Yeah.
hey, Kenny, listen, if you need the time off, dude, by all means, you just hand the belt to Hangman, by all means, and I'll be good with that. Take your time. You don't have to do a match; just hand it to him.
That would be something as well. Speaking of handing things over, it looks as though the WWE has once again handed over pink slips.
Oh my god!
Yes, November 4th, 2021, the WWE released, I believe it was a total of 18 people. I'm going to go through this list here. Frankie Monet, Ember Moon, Scarlett, Oni Lorcan, Karrion Kross, B-Fab, Jesse Kamea, Zeta Ramier, Trey Baxter, Katrina Cortez, Jeet Rama, Gran Metalik, Lindsay Dorado, Keith Lee, Nia Jax, Mia Yim, Harry Smith, and Eva Marie. Harry Smith, people have been saying all over the place, oh, he was already gone. He quit. He was gone. He was recently rehired to the company, and they have now once again let him go, and he's gone. This here followed, the June releases, which had like Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Lana, Ruby Riott. I mean, all of these, Tony Nese, Tyler Breeze.
Fandango.
This is, I don't know what's going on here. I really don't. I get it, though. I do. From a business standpoint, I kind of get it. I do, because the company is so full of people right now. And then you got to remember, what did they just do with NXT? They just made NXT 2.0 with all these new names that are coming in. So now are we just going to keep all of them down in, I hate to say that, are we going to keep them all over on the NXT 2.0 brand? Or is this the place where we're building them to bring them over to the Raw brand and to the SmackDown brand? Well, if you're going to build these stars in NXT 2.0, I hate calling it that, so I'm just going to call it NXT.
Yeah.
You build these stars, these new stars in NXT. You gotta do something with it. You gotta shift them over to a different brand, or they're just going to be like, I'm not making anything. I'm not going anywhere. I'm out. Like, just give me my release.
Yeah.
So you got to make room for these people. Now, some of these different names that are in there, I think, are totally ridiculous to have gotten rid of. But what's your thoughts and what's your take on this, Bubba?
I'm kind of confused on some of the names, like Karrion Kross. You just brought him to Raw, and the guy's doing really good. Like, I didn't like his gimmick, but I mean,
Keith Lee, Bearcat Lee.
What? They were just giving this guy a big push. Like, what happened? Like, okay, we just don't want this guy on our brand. Like, what? Hello, fine. You know what? These people, I hate to say it this way, but I'm not gonna rose coat this. I would be thanking my almighty stars that I am not part of WWE anymore, and I would be going MLW, ROH when it starts back up, anything but WWE at this point. I would just be like, fine, you know what? Big time isn't here anymore. At this moment, it's not here. It's somewhere else. Then I'll go somewhere else to get my big time. But the last one that you had mentioned there, the lady they just brought back, 3-4 months ago? The very last person.
Oh, Eva Marie.
Eva, yeah. I dislike her so much that I can't remember her name. You brought her back, let these people go before, brought her back. The woman can't wrestle. She can't act. Like, you get on forget it. I think my 4-year-old kid's got more skill on a mic than her. And now she's gone again.
Yeah.
Like, what was the point of even bringing her back? And I
No
won't tell
clue.
you what I think and why I think she was, but whatever. That's beyond this program. That's a thing you'll hear on the Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke. I'll be talking about that.
So we
But
got
no,
a
I'm
question here.
confused. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I am too, and I want to get your take on this question here from Ryan.
Okay.
What is your thoughts on Braun Breaker in NXT 2.0?
Oh, good question. I haven't seen him wrestle yet in NXT.
No,
I have not seen him wrestle on NXT yet, but from what I have seen of this young man, he can wrestle. He's good. He can do his thing. Let's just see where he takes this character they're putting him in. That's the kind of the thing, right? It's whatever Vince throws at him to here this week you're in a bunny suit, next week you're in a crab suit. Like you pick one thing, let the guy learn it, let the guy hone it to his thing, and let him go with it. You know?
I think they definitely have been doing that. That is exactly what they're doing with Braun Breaker. Thankfully, my thoughts on Braun Breaker in NXT. Maybe it's just overhype. I don't know. So Braun Breaker himself is a Steiner. They won't allow him to. I mean, they really won't talk about that. They won't mention it. They won't do anything. But he's a Steiner. Okay,
Yes.
Rick Steiner's son, Scott Steiner's nephew.
Okay. I
He's
have
a
seen him wrestle.
Steiner. Yes. I knew as
And
soon as I mentioned that it would click.
yeah.
Is I personally I like seeing Braun Breaker work. I think it's cool. And he's got that gimmick to him that is allowing him to not necessarily be a shining star right now, but he's got the capabilities to be that.
Gotta
And
build
I
it.
think I think that Braun is really a front man for the new NXT 2.0 right now, because they're looking to build stars in NXT 2.0, right?
Yeah.
So take this guy who is a Steiner. Let's change his name for ridiculous reasons.
Right.
I freaking hate when they do that. But yeah, let's change his name for whatever reason and build a star out of him, which is what they're doing. And they're now going to be able to show, hey, this is what can be done. Maybe that's oh my God. That's why they changed his name. That's why they're not having any mention of him being a Steiner, so that they can go, hey, look at this amazing star that the WWE just built in NXT 2.0. Meanwhile, he's a Steiner. He already knows the business. He's been taught by arguably some of the best professional wrestlers in the world.
Yep.
But what fantastic WWE, fantastic NXT 2.0. What a brilliant way to do this.
Did you people hear that? Did you hear that? Karl, your brain just went boom.
It did.
Live. Everybody got to watch that. Your brain just exploded.
Oh my God. How did I not see that before?
I don't know, bro.
Braun Breaker is fantastic. Talks like his uncle, wrestles like his dad, and is being pushed to the moon.
He is.
Coming from our NXT review show. That's right. Yep. Ed does NXT TEA over on lovewrestling.ca. Yep. So make sure you're following Love Wrestling to know when NXT happens, because there's always a reminder before it happens. So make sure that you check it out and make yourself a cup of tea. We're getting into the holiday season here. Make yourself a nice cup of cinnamon tea or apple cinnamon tea or something like that, and sit down and watch these lovely people over there. I know Ed is usually there. I think Astrid is usually there as well. And
I think so, yeah.
For some reason it escapes me, but normally there's a third. Maybe the third is a floater. I can't remember. But yeah, there's my thoughts on Braun Breaker. And I'm interested. Ryan, if you're still watching and in the chat, type out for me what your thoughts are on. Here we go. I think they changed his name also because they have heat with Scott and don't want to use the name Steiner. Hey, you know what? That totally makes sense too.
Yeah.
That definitely makes sense too. Ryan, what are your thoughts on
Yeah.
Braun Breaker?
While we're waiting for that.
I personally I like the guy. I'm happy with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you got, Bubba?
Do you really think that he's going to make that big a fuss, Scott, if they change his nephew's name to Steiner? There you go. And
Astrid and
Cody.
Cody.
Cody was the other one. Why couldn't I remember that?
I don't know.
I've watched their show so many times I can't even remember. I'm sorry.
What was your question? Sorry.
But do you really think Scott Steiner would put up a big fuss with WWE using the Steiner name for his nephew?
Shit, yeah.
You really think so? I don't think he would.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. 100%.
Just because it's Scott being Scott. Okay.
Right.
I figured you just
Unfortunately,
kinda let it slide.
I think maybe too many roids over the years has caused a little bit of malfunction in the brain.
Yeah. Okay. You got a point there.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Yeah. When people talk about Scott Steiner being insane in the membrane,
Oh, they're legit.
there is a little bit of legitimacy to that. There definitely is.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scott isn't exactly shy. Yeah, true enough.
Right?
True enough. Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah. They thought so highly of Braun, they brought him on the most recent UK tour. Holy shit.
I did
balls.
not know that.
Wow. I didn't know that either.
I think the next time we talk about NXT, we need to have Ed and a couple of his cohorts on here, and let's get all this out in the open here. Quit hiding all the good juice, buddy. Like, come on.
So I'm telling you, this comes back to what I was just saying earlier as well. They're thinking this highly of Braun Breaker that they brought him on the most recent UK tour, which means that they are trying to showcase Braun Breaker to say, hey, look at everyone over in the UK here. Look at what we can do with people. We can make them stars. And we are so proud of this star right here that we have brought. Wow. Holy.
Just your brain, Karl. You might want to pick that thing up off the floor now and put it back in because there's this much left in there and you need what's left. What do you say down here, Ryan?
He's got a link here to an article that I hope that he has done. Sportskeeda.com/WWE/Braun-Breaker with 2 Ks -Bona-Fide-Super-Star. I hope that is available and clickable there for everyone to click on. If not, screenshot this right now, and then you'll be able to go and check that out and see the fantastic writing that is done from Mr. Ryan K. Bowman. I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next comment. Take a look over at lovewrestling.ca and grab some merch at the shop as well. Every little bit that you get does help support all of the content and podcasts and videos and everything that's done over at lovewrestling.ca. He's working triple threats with Tommaso Ciampa and Sami Zayn for the NXT title.
Ooh.
What the heck?
What have I been missing on NXT lately?
I don't know, but I have the network, dude.
I know. I keep forgetting.
You have access to it. You just got to use it,
right?
That's all you got to do. You just got to use it. Speaking of the WWE Network, something that is going to be coming up here soon in a couple of weeks is going to be their pay-per-view Survivor Series. Okay, Survivor Series 2021.
I can't wait to talk about this. Let's go.
I'm already pissed off over the fact, and this is the biggest thing. I'm pissed off over the fact that they decided to simply announce the teams on Twitter.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me right now?
No,
I'm
it
old
really happened.
school. I am so freaking old school that I want you to choose a captain. I want that captain to then do whatever the hell he's got to do to pick his team. Whether
Amen.
that's going to his enemies or his friends in the back and pleading and begging with them, come be part of my team for Survivor Series. Or even going a little bit further and saying, hey, I got these 15 people in mind. Let me do my own little freaking tournament for those to be worthy enough to join my team. Something, please, other than just this bullshit. Oh, yeah, here, follow our Twitter page, and we're going to reveal every 30 seconds another member of each team. Are you kidding me?
Thank God I got Twitter. I never would have known if I didn't have just signed up for Twitter. There's something else I'm mad about too, Karl.
What's that?
The list that first came out. Oh, here. I'll let you cover this first before I get
Okay. Scott Steiner has literally insulted Triple H and Stephanie to the point that I doubt he will ever be invited back to the WWE. And quite frankly, I don't think he gives a shit. You're right. You're right. I don't think Scott Steiner really gives a shit. I mean, Scott Steiner really was a good name within the WWE, but I remember a lot more Scott Steiner from WCW. So who cares what the hell WWE thinks, and who cares? Who freaking cares?
Nobody.
I like Scott Steiner. I'm always
pro
like Scott Steiner. Right?
Big Papa Pump.
Right?
Yeah,
even
buddy.
his stuff that he didn't impact like great as well. Like
That's where I remember him.
And I mean, because he was still that big guy, but he's still maybe it's because of his mental capacity now, but he had that little bit of like comedic to him, but it didn't come across really as comedic. It was comedic after the fact. Right? Like math equation. Okay, that's all I need to say for any true wrestling fan. They'll know math equation.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't believe you went there.
Scott Steiner pissed off Stephanie and Triple H.
Okay.
To the point that Scott doesn't give a shit. What about you? What are you pissed off about with this whole Survivor Series thing?
Okay. When Survivor Series team was announced,
yeah,
I was super pumped because I'm thinking, we're going to have the first ever, right? Father, son on the Survivor Series team.
Yep.
With Rey Mysterio and Dominic Mysterio. And then I come to find out that Vince, in his instant and awesome wisdom that he has, decides to figure out that, listen, everybody on here has all had championships except for Dominic, the world championship to be exact. So let's screw the kid out of his position and put him up against the one guy that I dislike the most that's ever held that title, Bobby, and I cannot say his last name, so I'm not going to. Forget it. I seen you over there waiting for me to screw that up. I seen you, bro.
Bobby Lashley.
Yeah, I call him Leslie. To take that kid's spot. I am so pissed about that. Why would you do that? Oh, because he hasn't held a heavyweight title. Shut up and just let it go. Like, that would have been an epic thing to see him over there and win it.
Right? Possibly win a Survivor Series matchup with Daddy.
With his dad. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know about you, but I mean, that's pretty significant to me.
I think it would have been cool. Definitely. I do.
Nice.
But hey.
What do I know? I'm just a fan, right?
It's Vince McMahon. He thinks it's such good shit.
Shit, it will be.
Let's run through that card here super quick, or what we have of a card for Survivor Series. So Team Raw is going to be Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens, Rey Mysterio, and now Bobby Lashley with MVP versus Team SmackDown being Drew McIntyre, Jeff Hardy, King Woods. I love saying that. King Woods.
Yeah, buddy.
Sami Zayn and Happy Corbin. I hate that name. Happy Corbin with Madcap Moss. So that's going to be the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series elimination match. Match number 2, Team Raw for the women's side is going to be Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan, oh my heart, Carmella, and Queen Zelina, taking on Team SmackDown, being Sasha Banks, Shayna Baszler, Shotzi Blackheart, Natalya, and Aaliyah. So that's going to be as well another Survivor Series elimination match.
Wins.
I know you would love to have Natalya to win. I know. And then we got champion versus champion for the next 2 matches. We have got Becky Lynch, the Raw Women's Champion, taking on Charlotte Flair, the SmackDown Women's Champion. And then champion versus champion, Big E, the WWE Champion, taking on Roman Reigns, the Universal Champion, who has Paul Heyman in his corner. And as always, card subject to change.
Of course it is, because Vince could have this brain fart, as I like to call it, because everything's the shit. So he's having a brain fart, and you'd probably change something on us. I can't wait to see Big E whoop the Bloodline and all that. What are you laughing at me for?
I'm not laughing at you.
What happened?
Okay.
You're
Ryan says, I was on the press conference when Scott said that Stephanie probably had a statue of the Macho Man in her bedroom. It took all I had not to piss my pants from laughing at that. I tried not to as well.
Oh, that's
but
funny.
I couldn't contain that.
That's great. Thank you, Ryan, for the great. That's yeah. Could you imagine if he was on the mic right now, dude? I would just mute my stuff and I would go to the bathroom. I'd be done with it.
Oh, right.
Like, yeah, bud.
Oh my goodness.
I do have him on Facebook and I do chat with him every now and then, so I kind of get his personality.
Who?
So, Ryan.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like
we talk every now and then.
You talk with Scott Steiner? What the hell, dude?
Yeah, I got his number from Rick when Rick was here in town, and we all talk, and that's where Bubba Duke came from.
There you go. There you go. He's trying to say that with a straight face, but that smirk is giving him away. Ed coming in here as well, letting us know that Nakamura versus Damian Priest is probably going to be coming too. Yeah, I mean, why not have the IC versus US championship if you're going to do all the other champions against each other? I think it's just a no-brainer. Definitely go ahead and do that.
Yeah. Dude.
Take the cruiserweight and the 24/7 championship. Throw them together as well. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because they're 2 titles that are pointless.
Yeah, right now they seem to be. So
sorry.
Showcase them a little bit. Yeah. Why not?
Like, if you're having every other title in a pay-per-view, why would you not have your Intercontinental Championship and your United States Championship? Why would you not have them there? If I held those titles and they did that to me, dude, oh, buddy, there would be Pupakaka hitting the fan and hitting it hard.
You got to remember, we're only at the 9th right now, right? Today's November 9th. This doesn't happen until November 21st. Okay, so there's still time. Okay. There's still time for them to be able to put together some other matchups.
Get their heads out of their butts.
That's right. Unfortunately, I do not have any non-sponsored Dr. Pepper this week, so I'm going to have to hit them up or something. And Dr. Pepper, I need some Dr. Pepper, man. Can we please maybe partner and send me some of that good Dr. Pepper? We're going to take just a little bit of a break here, and we're going to hear from our friends over at OVW.
Hi, my name is Barry Radcliffe. You might recognize me from such films as The Longest Ride or Ted 2. Now, as a successful actor, I have 2 planes, a supermodel wife, countless exotic cars, and a ton of cash. You might think it couldn't get any better than this, but You'd be wrong for only $4.99. You can get OVWWrestlingNetwork.com. That's OVWWrestlingNetwork.com for only $4.99. Now, will your life be as good as this? No. Will it be better? Yes, and I guarantee that. That's not valid anywhere. OVWWrestlingNetwork.com is only $4.99. Tomorrow's yesterday is today. Prices so low, they're insane. Want more bang for your buck? Well, so do I at OVWWrestlingNetwork.com. It's only $4.99 a month. In between excitement, me too. OVWWrestlingNetwork.com is only $4.99 a month. You get that incredible value. She cost me $17 million and I loved it. Want a real value? OVWWrestlingNetwork.com. It's only $4.99. That's a price so low. Well, it's insane.
And let's take a look at a highlight reel from our friends over at Ignite Wrestling. Thank you so much to our friends over at OVW for allowing us to use those commercials for the OVW network. Yes, go and check out OVWnetwork.com. Great, amazing stuff over
only
there.
$4.99.
Only $4.99 a month.
I love that guy.
And thank you so much to Miss Kim for allowing us to use highlight reels and commercials from Ignite Wrestling. I absolutely love Miss Kim and everything that happens with Ignite Wrestling. If you have YouTube, check out Ignite Wrestling. If you've got the Roku or any streaming platform like that, Ignite Wrestling even has their own app available for you to download and watch their programming. So please go and check out Ignite Wrestling as well. So something that we're going to get to here is a favorite for a lot of people on this show, and we're going to talk about our match of the week. I'm glad I took a look at that because producing and hosting and everything all at once, I almost clicked the wrong thing. Almost. But here we go with our match of the week. Bubba Duke, what do you have this week?
I'm going back to before this show was even created.
Okay.
I'm going August 22nd, 2013. The very first match between two of my favorite groups in Impact Wrestling. I'm talking, people, the Aces and Eights versus the Main Event Mafia. That was the best match I've seen back then.
Yep.
My God, bro. When they announced Bully Ray doing the Aces and Eights as a motorbike club.
Yeah.
That was the coolest thing. Because you got to think back then, and what was the hottest show on TV?
Sons of Anarchy.
Sons of Anarchy. And this guy, with all his knowledge of wrestling and what people are into, listening to the fans, he picks up on this and says, listen, we can do the same thing. And he did it, and he did it very well. And holy cow, it went over huge. And then here comes the Main Event Mafia. Who better to oppose the motorbike club than the guys wearing suits and ties? The business guys.
Right.
How smart was that for Impact Wrestling to pull that out? That made them a ton of money, brought them a ton of fans. And on that day, that was the first time that the entire group of Main Event Mafia and the entire Aces and Eights got into a ring together and had a massive, massive fight. It wasn't a wrestling match. I'll tell you that right now. It was a fight.
It was.
And it was awesome. So I'd like to thank Bully Ray for his brain always thinking and his ears always listening to what the fans want. That was epic. and Impact. Great job, guys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Amazing. Supersonic X 1991. Thank you for stopping by. Always glad to have new friends coming over and checking us out. My match of the week goes back a little bit further than yours actually
Whoa.
did.
Okay.
We are in November. Mine goes back to 1997. November to Remember from ECW. One of my top 10 favorites was in the main event. We are talking Bam Bam Bigelow taking on Shane Douglas with the beautiful Francine.
Oh, yeah.
In a singles match for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship. Unfortunately, Bam Bam did not win that matchup, and Shane Douglas took that title.
Yeah. That was another great wrestler, though, Bam Bam. He was.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely loved Bam Bam Bigelow. Bam Bam Vader. I mean, if you guys have watched the show before, you know that I have always been a fan of the bigger guys, and especially the bigger guys that would get up onto the top rope and do that crazy ass shit over the top rope. Like, I mean, really? Like, I was a bigger kid growing up. I was. So for me to see them, holy shit, I could do that too.
It's this Woods versus Uso. It's pretty good. SmackDown. Yeah, SmackDown's been really holding it together for WWE lately. I'll be honest, if it wasn't for SmackDown lately, I wouldn't even be watching the product. To be quite honest.
you know, a lot of people are kind of the same way there. Ed. Yeah. November 97, and we're not talking
We're not talking about that.
No, we're not talking screw job. We're talking good stuff that happened from November.
Yes. Yeah, we don't refer to that anymore. It's yeah.
We'll refer to it at some point, definitely. I guarantee it. We definitely will. Definitely will. 100%. Maybe it might be something that happens on a rewind episode.
Rewind.
That would be interesting. It definitely is something that could happen. So there you have it. There are our match of the weeks for this week. Again, anytime that you are listening and that you want to interact here with us as well and let us know your match of the week, we definitely would love it during that segment. And it doesn't have to be anything that happened this week. It's something that you have watched and enjoyed during the past week. So no matter what it is when it comes to professional wrestling, whatever match you saw during that week, is what what we want to talk. Hey,
what?
I didn't even realize this, but yes,
it's been 24 years, eh?
Today, 24 years ago today.
Dude, I didn't even think of that. Thank you,
I
Eddie,
didn't either, just
up.
because I not that I push it out of my memory, but I mean it's a very large, substantial part of professional wrestling history. 100% it is.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I try not to dwell on it, right? And it's something that I want to try to forget about. As much as a Shawn Michaels fan as I am,
yeah,
it's a little bit of a sour spot for a lot of people. And I mean, yeah.
But on the happy note, they made up, they shook hands, and they're talking again now. They're friends, they're buddies. They do their thing now. So
they definitely are.
Good for being bigger men and getting over it.
That's right. That is definitely right. We're going to move on here because we're at 54 minutes already, and we're going to do our Showstopper segment. A segment that everybody seems to love because we always kind of come up with some crazy ass bullshit stuff to really go through and talk about. And this week is going to be no different. This week we are going to talk what I'm kind of classifying maybe as a little bit of conspiracy theory going on here. Now, as I mentioned previously in the episode here, I work security. So I'm usually working nights, which means I'm thinking, and I got a lot of time to kind of, when I'm driving from one place to another place to do my checks of the properties, I have some time to think. And I got to thinking.
Uh-oh.
The firings that happened within the WWE.
Okay.
Jon Moxley and the rehab that he has voluntarily put himself into. Those are two big things that we talked about at the beginning of this program.
Yes.
What if they're connected?
How?
I'm glad you asked. Vince McMahon has an ego the size of the universe. So what if all the publicity that AEW has gotten because of Jon Moxley voluntarily going into a rehabilitation of himself for a substance abuse that he has? What if Vince McMahon's ego says, we can't be overshadowed by AEW? What can we do to make news and headlines so that people are talking about us?
Wow.
Ergo, all these firings.
Wow.
Take it away, Bubba. Take it away.
Hold on a minute. I got to pick my brain up off the floor. Boom. My head just exploded, bro. Yeah, I could totally see Vince doing something like that. That would not surprise me. Wow, dude. And I love that you didn't tell me anything about this before. I'm glad you didn't, because that was the most honest reaction I think I've had for anything in a while.
That's
Holy
what I wanted.
Cow. Wow. Yeah, because that's his ex-big star, the Shield, Jon Moxley, right? AKA Dean Ambrose back then. Holy, yeah, I could see him trying to overshadow that, because that's, yeah, no, we don't want people talking about him because he used to work for me. So let me get the limelight off of him and back onto WWE. So let's fire these big names like Keith Lee and dude, boom. That's twice on this show, people. You've seen brains hit the floor. Woo, dude. I can see him doing it.
Whoever is still out there watching, give us your comments on this.
Wow.
What do you think? Do you think that there's some conspiracy theory shit going on here when it comes to these firings that happened because of Vince McMahon's ego? Or do you think that I'm totally off the wall and just crazy ass bullshit when it comes to this? I'm interested. I'm interested to see. Even if you're watching this after the fact,
Yeah,
please go to our social media accounts.
We check all the time.
Yeah. I mean, definitely go to our social media accounts, and they are listed right there up above at TB Talk Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And give us your thoughts on that.
You know what? As crazy as I think you are to begin with, I mean, because you got to be kind of crazy to do anything nowadays. I can totally see Vince doing it, though. I would not put it past him to say, listen, people, we need to make some ruckus here because this can't get any bigger than what it is. So we don't need this person because she can't wrestle to begin with. And then let's just go down the list. Well, we don't want to spend any more money on that person. We don't want to, this gimmick's not working this girl's not doing nothing anyway. So later, dude.
Ed coming in and saying he'd buy it if it was a random title change, but not for releasing talent. Maybe.
That's the the thing I said before. You got to look at both sides of this quarter, right? Could it just be, we were planning this to begin with, and it just happens to be on the schedule? That's what we were doing, and he just happened to go in.
Is it just coincidence?
It could be, but again, like you said, the conspiracy theory would play a little trick here as to would Vince would totally do it. He would. I could see him doing it. Yeah. And I don't want to take nothing away from Jon Moxley because, I mean, I'm not that kind of person. Brother, I hope you get better, and I wish you nothing but the best. I really do. And Vince, you're a dick. If you did this on purpose, you're a dick. Like, totally. I love your product sometimes, but you're a dick. Hey, that's somebody new.
No, not really. Not
Oh.
really somebody new. Old friend of the show. Definitely
Okay.
old and amazing friend of the show. Says, I don't think so. But props for even thinking about the possibility. Yeah, I mean, it was just I was just doing my checks around the properties, and then I'm driving and I'm thinking about this entire thing. I'm going like, I love Mox and like it's awesome because I've struggled and dealt with my own addictions as well. So yeah, I mean, like definitely, and as well, Supersonic X. We hope that Mox gets better soon too.
Oh, yeah.
And
Definitely.
I'm just thinking about this, going.
What
So
if?
AEW has all of the limelight right now. The whole talk, everything that my phone's blowing up about Jon Moxley, and the great stuff that AEW has done in regards to this after the fact.
Yep.
That the WWE is sitting there going, nobody's talking about us. This isn't good. We need to do something. I don't know.
Wow, dude.
I don't know.
Right? Yeah. Wow. That's a thinker. That's a definite thinker. What if?
Yeah.
What if they did do it on purpose, just to get that little bit of talk about them again?
Right.
I
Right.
apologize to people that got fired for that, but I mean,
Collateral damage.
yeah, at this point, you're just again. I stand
Shit,
behind.
dude.
I stand behind it and say, go somewhere else and get better roles, better work, better pay, whatever. I mean, do what you got to do to continue wrestling because I loved watching them.
Right. 100%. And we're going to continue to do what we do here absolutely every week. And before we go, we do have some thank yous to give out, not only as I've left it in the ticker the entire show this week. Thank you to all our amazing fans and supporters. Without you guys, we would be nothing and not be doing this in nowhere. We would be doing this for an empty arena, which would just feel like shit. But we do want to thank here collarandelbowbrand.com. Collar and Elbow Brand, we are the first sponsored podcast from Collar and Elbow Brand, and we are so happy to be with them. If you go and check out collarandelbowbrand.com or click on the link from any of our social media pages, it'll take you directly to the store. You can get yourself 10% off your entire order when you use the promo code JK Podcast, and that's whether it's brand new or clearance merchandise. Thank you to our friends over at Phoenix at fnxfit.com. If you're looking for health supplements or workout gear, go and check out Phoenix at fnxfit.com. While there, you can get yourself 15% off your entire purchase by using promo code TBTalkPod. Thank you so much to IndiePW for continuing to showcase this podcast over on their platform, and the HTM Podcast Network. Amazing things over there as well. So many great shows over at the HTM Podcast Network. Google HTM Podcast Network. It'll take you right to where you need to be. Big shout out to Love Wrestling for bringing us on to be part of the Love Wrestling family here with Turnbuckle Talk. Great stuff happening over there. Ed has been in the chat this entire episode. Go and check out NXT TEA, an amazing little play on words. I love it. Go and check out NXT with Ed, with Cody, and with Astrid. I remembered this time. And we wouldn't be able to bring you these amazing video podcasts without the help of StreamYard. Thank you so much to StreamYard for their continued support and everything that they continue to do to make sure that we have the top of the top and best of the best when it comes to being able to program for video shows. And our newest partnership that we have over at 80stees.com. you want to feel nostalgic, and you want to have some great streetwear, go and check out 80stees.com. Amazing stuff happening over there as well. Everything from movies to TV shows, superheroes, horror, classic movies, holiday stuff, video games, and even, yes, professional wrestling. Go and check that out as well. So we do have a couple of comments here to get to super quick before we head out for this week. Ed coming in, wrestling conspiracy theory. Vince sent Nash and Hall to WCW to win 86 weeks to ultimately destroy WCW from the inside out. So, Bubba, remember that?
Pretty much.
Let me see here.
What are you thinking?
Just take a photo of that so that I've got it always, and maybe that's something that we can talk about, and maybe even bring Ed on to talk about that.
There we
as
go.
Well, I mean, he does say I don't buy it, but that's one of them. So
again,
maybe.
That's for another show. I could go on that for another hour.
Right?
Really, I could.
We definitely could. Again, thank you so much to all of our amazing fans, to all of the supporters, to everyone that has continued to be with us throughout this entire 5-year journey. Well, 6 year since 2015. So six flipping years, man. That is amazing. Thank you so much, everybody, for Bubba Duke and for myself, Karl Karufel. This has been another edition of Turnbuckle Talk, and we will see you on the next one.